Hey guys, it's me, John Anthony Chihak Soltero. I am the anti-hero, and I'm here today with kind of a significant special haul update kind of thing. You'll be watching this on Friday, but yesterday I got my second dose for the COVID-19 vaccine. And because I was just so eager to start that process, I took the first appointment I could find for my first dose, which was up in Chandler. And that means that you have to go back up to basically the same pod to do it that way. So my second dose wasn't in Chandler, it was actually in Mesa, but I figured, I'm going to have to take the entire day off of work to go get this done. So I decided, why not swing up to Jesse James Comics in Chandler? I took this exact box full of 5 full sets of the Bubba Patrol, the collected edition, the Bubba Files, and issue 3, affectionately also known as the Super Duper Cypress. And so went in, talked to the guy working the counter. I forget his name. I feel really bad about that. Told him I was a local creator from Tucson, that this is the book, the project that I'm working on. He's just like, yeah, we'll take a set. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sold him a set. I'm looking through they have some like $2 back issues, and I was looking through them. Jesse James walks up to me, he gives me a pound and starts talking to me. And I was just like, yeah, you guys are going to carry a copy of it. And I told him a little bit about what I was working on, finishing up issue 4, working on issue 5. He's like, I'll take 10 sets right now. And I was just like, all right, but I only brought 5 total. And he was just like, I'll take them. So end of the story, I end up selling them the full 5 sets and took the remaining out of the stuff that I bought. But it kind of had a secondary significance going to Jesse James Comics. It's been 3 years since I've been there. The last time I went to Jesse James was in 2018, February of 2018. He was doing an in-store special event that had Brian Pulido, who was always promoting, Lady Death and Coffin Comics and stuff like that, but was running a Kickstarter at that time. So stopped the proceedings a couple of times during the event and ended up, doing some live stream videos for Facebook, promoting it. But way in the back of the shop was Kevin Eastman. And I've met Kevin Eastman a couple times. I've gotten autographs from him, so I didn't go back and talk to him or pester him or anything. Meanwhile, I was trying to sell my stuff. But that was the last time I was at Jesse James, so 3 years ago. And of course, pandemic changed everything, and so the arcade portion of the shop is, I think, closed to the general public, but if like 1 or 2 people go, I saw some people playing some video games, some pinball up there, so it was kind of cool. The setup is very interesting because he just started carrying new books again. For years, had only been carrying back issues, but once DC split from Diamond, he took up with Lunar Distribution and started picking up new books again. And now that Marvel is splitting with Diamond and going with Penguin, they're going to be picking up Marvel books as well. And this is completely beside the point, but also very important. I talked to Jesse a little bit about how would I submit my books to CBCS to get graded. And he goes, we can help you do that. So in the near future, look for being able to get your hands on some, hopefully, 9.6 and 9.8 copies of the Bubba Patrol. And so kind of a cool postscript to that is Jesse did a binge bar that night, and the Bubba Patrol was part of that. And I watched the playback, or like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the playback, and if I remember correctly, the very first item that was sold on the show was a set of the Bubba Patrol. So that's very exciting. And multiple copies got sold within the span of a few minutes. So it's really exciting to know now that, Tucson is the home of the Bubba Patrol, but it expands, up through the valley into Phoenix and Maricopa. My goal is to have retailers carrying this book in different states, talking to a couple of different retailers right now. And I think that getting into those things is going to be very, very helpful and very lucrative. I think it's also going to help the campaigns when we run the campaigns. So to let you guys know, just the update on the Bubba Patrol itself. Issue 4, last couple of pages are being colored. We're going to launch the crowdfunding campaign in May. With that being said, I'm going to do like a live show on my non-con page because it has the most likes and followers that of any of my pages, but I'm going to simulcast it on the Bubba Patrol page and the Anti-Heroverse page. And what we're going to do is raise funds live by presenting all the tiers that are going to be available once it goes to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Probably stick with Indiegogo since it's been pretty successful. But looking to maybe do some partnerships with potentially CBSN. I know Lady T Comic Keys is interested in doing some stuff as well. Maybe having a retailer exclusive type book or a retailer incentive type book that when retailers carry a certain amount of copies or purchase a certain amount of copies, they'll get that retailer incentive that they can sell for, you know, whatever they decide. That was kind of what we did with issue 3. And the incentive book, the one that we unlocked, was the Vic Hollins variant. And so anybody, retailer or otherwise, who purchased 10 copies of the book, it wasn't a 1 in 10 variant specifically, but if they ordered a set of 10 of the regular covers, I automatically threw in one of the Vic Hollins variants. And we're going to do the same with issues 4 and issues 5. So Bill Simpson, who did inks on more than almost a quarter of the book of issue 3, is doing colors. He's doing all the colors on issue number 4. As I've said before, Bill has worked for multiple different companies in a high professional capacity. He worked for Extreme Studios during their heyday. He's worked for Top Cow. He's even worked for Marvel. He worked on Black Panther. He worked on The Darkness. Really, really cool stuff. And really cool to have somebody who has that experience, not just the history of being able to say, I've worked on comics for this amount of time, but to be able to say, I have worked in this high level capacity for this level of time. And him wanting to be a part of my project because what I'm doing also means something to him. He loves animals and dogs as well, so it's a big thing. 1 second. So what we're going to do with issue 4, Bill's not only doing colors. Bill is going to do a variant for issue number 4, which is awesome. He's already showed me his thumbnail concept for it, which I'm super jazzed about because it's gonna be great. I just told him, I was just like, these are the 2 covers that I want to do for this book. You tell me which one you'd rather do. And he chose the variant, and I was just like, that's totally cool. And when he showed me the thumbnail a few days later, I was super jazzed about it. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. And then I also talked to Vic Hollins about doing a variant or even a ratio variant for issue 5. And I kind of told her a little bit about what it's going to be about, but it's a little ways off. And she's got some projects she's working on right now, so I don't want to like inundate her with that. But we'll be working on those, and hopefully because I'm working on issue 5 right now, you guys aren't going to have to wait too terribly long before the first arc, the first story arc is completed. The other plan is after the story arc is completed and we get everything crowdfunded and it's out to the masses, we will then, I will then start looking at submitting this to some creator-owned publishing, small independent places, looking at things like Image, Dark Horse, Boom Studios, a couple of different places that might be willing to carry it. because it would be a complete arc. And they wouldn't really have to do much in terms of like waiting for me to finish stuff or anything like that. So it would be like they could release it as a trade. I'd rather re-release it as single issues, because if you re-release it as single issues, and this is just from a business standpoint, you're going to drive up interest in those original printings when the print runs were like 300 and 100 and 500 and, you know, under 1,000 issues. It'll drive up the interest of those, I believe. So that's what I really, really want to do in terms of the future, the immediate future of the Bubba Patrol. The second arc is something I will start working on once once I'm able to kind of take a break after issue 5. Got some thoughts in line for what I want to do, and but I just need to, you know, get this journey finished first, and then I start on the next path. Anyways, that was a super, super long video in and of itself, so I'm going to stop this right here, and then I'm going to do another video where you're going to see what I picked up from Jesse James Comics for my dose vaccine pickup. See you in a second.